from clarkwoods.com. This is horribly off topic.
You're nowhere near that mic. Get in there.
I can hear myself. You want me to get up? You get up on it.
Where is clarkwoods.com?
Where is it? That I'm too loud.
Is that the woods that John and I used to like discover in your backyard?
You discovered each other's wood in my backyard?
Woods.
I know, woods, plural. So your wood and his wood were discovered in the backyard?
We didn't grab each other's pricks.
I didn't say no. You are saying that. I'm saying you discovered.
Oh, I'm sorry, Chris.
I just said maybe it was a simultaneous discovery. You were in a tent in
the only time we had a tent in your backyard was when you had
the
the bounce house when you got sued.
I wasn't there for that.
No, you were at school.
I was at school.
When John and I just turned 19 years old.
I would say that no, the woods in the backyard where you discovered your woods together,
aren't Clark.
What were you discovering when you discovered your woods?
We didn't discover each other's woods. And by the way, this is horribly off topic. I'm Steve. This is Chris, and we also have Ryan here with us.
Looks like we're already terribly off subject.
That guy.
This is a little bit of a zing. I got a plastic cup.
Yeah, you don't get a real one.
Well, no, it's because I'm a lightweight, and because I didn't know if I was going to waste the beer, but I like it. So,
did you give him the Pilsner or the
it's
IPA?
The Pilsner, baby.
Yeah, I don't imagine you would. I don't imagine you as a hop fan.
What you think? That's a little racist.
No, I didn't say hip hop fan.
oh! I'm not a hop fan. I like the hip, but not the hop. Is what you're saying.
No, but with the railroad tracks that is now the rail trail.
Yes, the Bruce Freeman rail trail.
Yes, which goes all the way to my town.
I don't know if it does. I got a note the other day that made it sound like it went from the new thing was gonna be from wherever to Acton. It did not mention Maynard.
There is the Bruce Freeman rail trail right near my house.
Okay.
So unless there's like a little section that's not connecting,
I'm pretty sure there is.
So
I don't know.
Extended it.
They extended it, and I can. So when I'm driving to your place,
on your bicycle,
I promise I will answer the question about Clarkwoods. But we are at a very interesting off tangent.
Terribly off subject.
Terribly off subject. We're terribly off subject, and I want to continue to be terribly off subject for a second because
when I explain this show to people, I say it's called horribly off topic, but we never establish a topic, so it's impossible to go horribly off of it. So that means we're fucking frauds.
Well, I say that to my students every week. I say I'm a fraud. I don't know
every
why.
Every whack I tell them.
Every whack I tell them I'm a fraud. I can't do an accent to save my life, and it turns into different ones as I go along. No, okay, so
good.
Don't worry about it.
A couple weeks ago, when I did my reading at the college, I was reading from the opening 2 chapters of the book, and one of the characters is supposed to put on a shitty British accent, and I managed to do a good one. Now the problem
that's problematic, Chris, because you're supposed to do a shitty one.
I'm supposed to do a shitty one, but I did a good one.
Core blimey.
So I saw this thing. It made no, we already talked about that. When I'm driving from my place to your place,
right,
the rail trail actually runs pretty parallel to the road that I'm traveling on. And I'm not giving up too much OPSEC. I mean, my street is off there, and your street is not near there.
It is near
God
there.
damn it, Steve! I'm trying to give you operational security.
Do you think people are going to stalk me?
I think they're going to walk up and down the rail trail until they see you.
My house. Good luck.
See you,
it's
and,
not right off the rail trail.
Okay, that's what I was trying to say.
For all you hothead stalkers, go to google.com/maps and type in Bruce Freeman Rail Trail.
And but you'll find both of our houses relatively, actually, all 3 of our houses relatively close to that true. Goddamn place.
But when I'm driving from my place to Steve's place, I can see where it crosses over. It crosses over a number of times, but the final time it crosses over, I don't know where that happens. Because it's on the
They
left,
have this fucking crazy shit, like, right off of, like, 119.
No, I know that, but it's on the left side there.
Yeah.
It's on the left side. By the time I get to your place, it's on the right side, and I have no idea how it got from one to the other.
I don't know. There's probably like a weird link that doesn't happen, and that's when it'll be complete.
Yeah.
And it'll probably be this spring. Any of you guys that love getting local for you, that then like you'll know that you can ride your bike.
You can ride your bike.
You can ride your bike from Ryan's house to my house.
Yeah. You could stop at my house in between.
Yeah.
I mean,
you have to go through the woods,
but you would have to go through woods, which are not the Clark Woods.
Clark Woods.
The Clark Woods is it's an amalgamation. It's a mashup. It's a portmanteau, I believe, is the phrase. My last name is Clark. My wife's maiden name was Woodsome. When we were getting married, we wanted a website for our wedding, and we made it clarkwoods.com.
It's
nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with me, although it seems like it has something to do with me.
I always assumed it was just Clark and Woodbury put together.
And that's fine, because it evolved to mean many things.
Yes. So it means him and his wife, and also him and me, I guess.
Yes. I mean, not that we discovered
like
our woods together either.
Situation.
Yes, it's like a
Triforce. That's what they call it.
Did you finish A Link to the Past yet?
I have not, or as my wife calls it, Mario Elf. I have not finished it.
Ryan got himself a Super NES Classic Edition.
Oh,
yes, yeah.
Mario Elf.
Very thoughtful
Mario
gift.
Elf, yes.
And is that Link to the Past your favorite on there so far?
It's the one I've been playing through because I never played any Zelda games.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite Zelda games.
Them,
so.
but I never owned any, so
yeah.
You gotta own it to really play through it.
Right, yeah.
So I've been trying to play through it, and boy, it's confusing. It's I've had to go to the internet a lot of times.
What did we do with these games before there was the internet?
Nintendo Power.
I mean, yes, Nintendo Power, but
I was a subscriber to Nintendo.
I wasn't.
Power.
Yeah, me too. Not early enough.
Get the clues that you can use, Nintendo Power.
Big Nestor's Quest fan.
Nestor's Quest.
That was a.
You mean Fester's Quest?
No, Nestor was like a character. They had a comic.
Yeah, it was
Nintendo
Howard
Power.
and Nestor originally, and then
I don't remember.
It was Howard Phillips who was one of the. He was the one who decided to. I think he worked in the warehouse when Donkey Kong became a thing.
Okay.
And he was like, yeah, we should totally put these goddamn things in arcades because people will play the shit out of them. And he was right. And I think he eventually became somewhat important. I think he might have been the president of Nintendo of America for a short while. I'm not sure. If I'm wrong out there, people out there in Nintendo land.
Yes. I'm not.
I'm looking at you, but I'm not expecting an answer.
Okay. I did do an exercise today where I had to look into the eyes of the person I'm doing the scene.
Is that why
with.
you're being very fierce with your
fierce with my
right
stare?
now?
Yeah. No, we had to like hands up like this, like so. I'm putting my hands up. Like, how would you describe this for the listeners?
Like you were being arrested, kind of.
Okay. Yes. So sort of like that. We were playing patty cake, except we weren't playing patty cake. We're not playing patty cake in like the Jessica Rabbit sense. Like that, hand to hand.
You know, regular Marvin Acme.
I had my hands up. She had her hands up, and we had to stare into each other's eyes for 4 minutes straight, without talking.
Is this some Meisner stuff?
It was I don't know. It was method. It was very no. It's not method. But no.
Yes, I was becoming a person that was staring at a woman. I was becoming for 4 minutes.
She was becoming a person that was staring at a very very ugly man.
Stop it!
I know. Thanks. So I'm fishing for compliments.
When I say "oh stop," when you say you're ugly, that's a compliment.
That's a compliment.
All right.
That's about as good a compliment as I ever get.
Oh. You're very handsome, Chris. Does that make you feel better?
Yes, tremendous. It would make me feel
you're
even
quite
better.
a catch.
It would make me feel even better if I discovered that, not that my brother discovered his wood to me, but that you discovered your wood looking up at my bedroom window. That would make me feel even better.
What if we were standing out in the woods and I'm like, wow, just thinking about your brother up there, jacking off is making me want to.
Yes. Yes, that would make me feel better.
All right, well, it didn't happen.
God damn it. No,
we were trying to get railroad spikes out of the old...
out of your ass?
out of the old like railroad tracks.
That's that. I tried to do that a couple times, but that's not a euphemism.
Your brother and I were actually successful.
What was your plan? What did you do with the spikes?
Nothing. We just had them.
You just had spikes.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't like a functioning railroad. Like, which is why it got turned into the
Bruce Freeman Rail Trail.
Yeah.
Oh, was it the Bruce Freeman Rail Trail?
I mean, that's what those rails were turned into the trails.
But Bruce Freeman was a track star here in town, so the road, I think...
Is that why they renamed Crystal Lake Freeman Lake? Is that the same guy?
Might be.
And then he moved to New Mexico and worked on the... trying to make a Half-Life joke.
No,
didn't know enough about it.
And I had no clue what you were talking about. So,
if I'm remembering correctly, he was a track star. I think no, that's somebody else. That's some other fucking track star in town. The race on the 4th of July is named after some other guy. Maybe Freeman. I don't know.
Mike Freeman.
Maybe.
Did I ever like rail against Mike Freeman?
After the reunion that he didn't attend. I don't know if you did.
I wanted to go to see his like Sturdy Moss band, and then I looked and like he had played a show like right after the last time that I checked.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, fuck! I want to go see his band, and I wanted him to be at the fucking reunion, but he wasn't there. Like that's the perfect time. Like if you were like a musician and you want people to come to your shows, like that's like. Go to your fucking high school reunion, and then maybe like 1 or 2 people at least, if not more, will be interested in going to see your fucking band.
Because you have some connection with those people, but they probably haven't heard your music.
Yeah,
they're not keeping up. But you know, if they're still kicking around and in the area, they might want to go see a show. So Mike Freeman, what are we doing?
What is your Sturdy Moss doing, buddy?
It's also high school reunions are also a great place to get hit on by desperate people.
I didn't get hit on at all because Becky was...
I mean, see episode whatever it was. The
hottest guy in the room.
Yeah.
Becky was with me, so I wasn't like putting it out there that I was available because I'm not.
Yeah. Well, I think the person who hit on me at my reunion was probably drunk enough that even if my wife were standing right next to me, she still would have hit on me.
Wow. Look at you, hottest guy in the room.
No, I'm saying that she was super drunk and that she was completely unaware of who she was hitting on. And of her surroundings.
I don't remember. I went to my 5-year, and I don't remember a second of it. Or I think I don't.
Do you remember getting your drink tickets?
No.
Okay, so you really don't remember a second.
Is this the line for the tickets, or is this the line for the beer?
Is it the 5-year? Everyone's like 22, 23,
something like that.
You've just graduated. I mean,
I was still in college.
You were still in college. A lot of people have just graduated college. I don't know why you go to your 5-year.
I don't know why I did, but I got fucking hammered.
Yeah. I mean, you were newly able to drink, right? Like only a year or so, like legally drink.
Yeah. But I mean, I had known how to drink for a little bit of a while.
Nobody ever taught me how to drink, Steve. Nobody ever taught me how to shave.
It's kind of one of the first things you do.
Yeah, you go like...
Actually, the only way you can get sustenance at the beginning.
I didn't drink a lot when I first turned 21 because when I first turned 21, I had mono.
Life in mono.
I went to that, and I think we talked about this on the show before.
Have.
Rob, our friend of the show. I don't know if he actually listens.
Friend of the show, Rob.
He took
Shout out to Rob.
He took me to Jackie the Joke Man at the Cape Cod Melody Tent. And I was going, and we went to the afterwards we went to the Hong Kong or the Hong and Kong.
Yes.
In Chelmsford Center, and I got my first beer.
That's not the center. Semantics. Keep going.
It's close enough to the fucking center. And I had my first drink, and that was the only drink I had for a good 2-3 weeks after that.
Wow.
So you went to a comedy show in Cape Cod, and then came all the way back to Chelmsford.
Well, I mean that's where we both lived at the time, so.
So you made a long drive back from the Cape, and then you're like, we gotta go.
I got myself a free CD because of that bullshit story I just told.
Yeah.
Because when we went to see Jackie,
I got 2 CDs.
You want 2 CDs? I went to see Jackie a couple of years ago on my birthday,
Thank you, Ryan.
On my birthday, and I told Jackie the Joke Man that story.
Yeah.
And he was like, wow, is that true? And I'm like, yeah. And what was it? Fucking 19 years ago. Or no, not 19, like 16 years ago.
Yeah.
I saw you at Cape Cod Melody Tent. Now I'm seeing you again the day before my birthday, exactly such and such to the day. And he's like, oh, okay, here I have a free Snart CD. Like, thanks, Jackie.
Snart CD.
Wow.
Because it's like, I guess, a combination, a portmanteau between snot and art.
Does he have snart.com? That's what I want to know. I mean, I was early to the portmanteau game. I think there's actually.
Are you looking it up?
I think there's a lumber yard or something that wants my name, like Clark Woods. Like they keep trying to get it or something.
Or like
so don't let it lapse.
A state park, maybe.
Yeah.
The Clark Woods.
I mean, it's like I can't get Clark Woods as a Twitter name or anything either because I think that lumber place has Clark Woods.
So now people that are occasionally looking for that lumber place are stumbling upon this bullshit.
Well, more likely they stumble across my picture of Lindsay Lohan holding a knife to her lips while what's her name? What's the? And see, I'm proving my own goddamn point all these years later.
What?
There's one image. Most people who stumble across my site stumble across it through Google image search. And they find like our most popular episode in terms of people stumbling across it is the one just after the Democratic National Convention from 2016, because the picture I used is Bill Clinton holding up one of those giant blue balloons.
Yeah.
And people stumble across that all the time. I don't know if they listen to the episode, but that one is the one they keep coming to. And so it's just they find it in Google image search and that counts as a hit on my site. And
oh yeah, count it.
For the longest time, I think our most popular episode was the problem with incest.
I wonder why.
I think people might have just like Googled incest because like that's the kind of pornography they like. They found our show of that title because of that search.
Okay. Now I have to make an admission because you brought up porn first.
Oh God, again?
No. Snart.com is a blog of a Norwegian man named Lars, and he hasn't posted anything since 2015.
Electric chair.
Yeah.
No, it's not another. It's not another admission, but it's a story about last week's admission or 4 days ago's admission.
Oh, did the girls find your porn site?
No.
Oh,
no. Well, okay. I'm not 100% sure what's going on here, but I'm going to tell you the story as it played out, and you tell me what you think.
Did you listen to last week's episode?
I did.
Wow, he's fucking on it.
I'm up to date on the show. Yeah,
so
I'm a real hothead.
Still
trying to make that go.
That's gonna be our shirt. We have hothead, and that'll be our shirt, or just hot.
Hothead, and on the back, where are the Clark words?
Wait, I don't think this ever made it onto the show. Hot podcast.
No, it didn't. Thank you. I'm glad you got that in there.
Because it was like right before we started the show. I did that, and it needs to be in there. That's important.
It does, yes. Hot podcast. Oh, I'm typing the wrong thing.
You want to do a harmony on that?
Ooh.
Hot podcast. We're like a regular barbershop duo.
Yeah, we're not even a trio because I can't harmony.
You didn't sing.
I know how to sing.
You didn't.
No, I did not. Here's the story about a man named Brady. No, on Friday. So we recorded on Thursday, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we recorded on Thursday. For those of you who have not heard episode number 188,
why would they just decide? I don't know why. Like last week, I was very into people being like first-time listeners. I have no idea why.
So why are you dissing me now? I'm saying
if you listened to last week's episode as a first-time listener and you're listening to this one now, then you won't need to listen to what Chris is about to say.
Right.
But say it anyways.
Second-time listeners out there.
We were talking. I forget how we got on that topic.
You tend to volunteer information
I do
without prompt.
Okay, they upped my meds last week. Speaking of, and now I am much more
willing to share.
Even more than usual.
Okay.
I'm a happier camper. I'm not. It says on the side of my meds I'm not supposed to drink alcohol.
Perfect. Drink alcohol.
Yeah.
Rebel.
Show me your dress. Wait, is that how it goes?
Sure.
Show me your dress.
You don't have to wear that dress tonight.
You don't have to wear that dress
Tonight.
So the episode gets posted on Friday morning, I think, because I think I got back from your house.
And you're like, "Fuck this!"
I'm
nonsense.
like, I'm not staying.
You didn't have power.
Oh yeah, that's right. We didn't even have power. So, I for a moment I thought I was gonna pull over somewhere, use the Wi-Fi, use the signal on my phone, and upload it that way. And I was
But
like,
then you thought it might be too dangerous because you have this access to this pornography site, so you might be just sitting there jerking off on the side of the road while the podcast is uploading.
While the podcast is uploading,
I'd be like, "What are you doing? Uploading my podcast?" Is that what the kids are calling it these days?
Uploading something, baby.
Oh God! All right, so the podcast I wait till Friday morning when I've got power. I get to the office a little bit early so that I can do it before I start work.
I took a shower at work on Friday because we still didn't have power.
Yes. How was that shower?
It was adequate.
Okay.
There was no wait.
I think he was looking for hot.
It was definitely a hot shower. It was hot. It was definitely way more hot than it would be if I had taken the aggressively cold shower at home. But when I finished, I was partially dressed, underwear and t-shirt, and then someone else came in.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they had just gone to the gym or something like that, but they were grunting a lot.
Oh.
And just like,
Are you sure?
and I'm like, I need to fucking leave. I need to get the hell out of here because this grunting guy is like freaking me out. And I'm like, I'm glad I wasn't nude.
Yeah.
Because like he might have just, be like, oh my God, there's somebody in here. This is so hot.
He saw your feet. Maybe.
Oh, my feet were not clothed yet.
Maybe he's got a foot fetish.
Perhaps.
Yeah, look under the stall.
Let me see them tootsies. Oh, you burned yourself a couple months ago. I could see it.
I like those arches.
You shouldn't have ripped off your sock.
This little piggy went right in my mouth.
And then to the market?
No.
Where did it go next?
My ass.
Do you think people with foot fetishes actually do put the digits? Do you call them digits when they're on your when you're on your toes? I mean, fingers we call digits.
I think so.
Okay, so do people who have
it's like I think.
Right. So, but people who have a foot fetish, do they put toes up there in their orifices?
I don't know. I mean, I imagine they would want to
in
suck
their
on
orifice.
toes.
I seen it.
You've seen it?
Yeah, there's videos out there.
Oh,
and
boy.
Stuff like
But
that.
I don't think I've seen like foots and pussies or assholes because I've never sought it out, so it's never been something that I've ever seen.
That's not on the.
It's gotta be. Oh no, I've seen a foot go. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
So yeah.
it's out there.
Okay.
So, yeah.
It's out there. All right.
What I don't want is like someone trying to put a pinky toe into someone's pee hole.
Ooh,
never needed to even think about that until you.
Well, now it's in your thoughts. So porn sites. What are you talking about?
Digital sound.
Did they lube up the pee hole when they do that?
Do you think they put a little a pinky toe in an ear, a little aural stuff going on?
That doesn't bother me as much. A pinky toe in an ear, whatever. A pinky toe feels like it could get in an ear. You might even be able to spare yourself a Q-tip. But a pinky toe in a penis hole...
My doctor says you shouldn't put Q-tips in.
No, you shouldn't put anything bigger, smaller than an elbow in your ear. That's what my doctor once said.
My doctor said my Lanta.
Okay, so here's the story, Morning Glory. All right, so I put up the podcast on Friday morning, and then I do my work, and then I'm done
and then you were jacking off at work. Please?
No, I was not jacking off at work. I did so much jacking off as a young man that I don't need to jack off anymore.
Oh.
I'm done. I don't need to go.
So you're just watching. Whoa. You're just watching pornography and not... Oh, yes, please.
I'm just watching pornography. Yeah, thank you. As Ryan tries to successfully navigate the microphone setup here. yes, I am watching pornography without jerking off. No. I mean, when I want to jerk off and I need a little bit of help, there is the pornography that I pay for. That was the revelation last week.
Yes.
That I pay for a subscription because I want the people, the artists responsible for my stroke material to be paid fairly. Now, I know that one person subscribing when everybody else just goes to fucking YouPorn and XTube and RedTube, but it's a drop in the bucket. You think they do drop in do they come into buckets? Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's okay. There's a site, comebuckets.com.
Okay. But what do you say?
If you want to.
All right, so Friday morning, I upload the podcast. I do my work. I do not jerk off. I go to teach.
And then you jerk off.
No.
All right, class.
Stop it.
We're doing a different thing today.
No, so I get to, thank you. I get to my afternoon class. And
thank you, sir.
This is where I'm not 100% sure what's going on, but I'm gonna tell you what I think is going on. And it's important to note here that my hearing is going.
Well, we're getting old. It happens.
Yeah. My hearing is going. That sometimes my students have conversations where they expect that I'm totally there with them, but like they're having a conversation between themselves, and then suddenly like they're talking to me. I mean, not just students and teacher, like we've all been in that situation where two people are having a conversation and then they just sort of expect that you're there, but you kind of miss the beginning part.
Why are you allowing your students to talk in class like that?
This is before class. We're all hanging out before classes. You know, the class starts at 1:15.
I imagine you're a strict disciplinarian.
I am the disciplinarian, strictest. Yeah, that's me. Don't I seem like a strict disciplinarian?
No.
Yeah, no, I'm not. No, so I get in there, and one of the students starts talking to me about what their plan had been that before class.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at Ryan's Mylanta joke again.
It's a pretty funny joke.
All right, continue.
No, it's
just a reference.
So well, it wasn't. I mean, it was humor. So I'm going to call it a joke.
A humorist.
You are a humorist. You're like a regular Dave Barry.
So one of the students starts talking to me about how they had hoped to get into class early so that they could write on the board the following phrase.
Professor Clark is a dick.
No.
Or just draw a dick?
Professor Clark is a, and then draw a dick.
Draw a dick. Well, I have a lot of art students in my class who would have been a very well-drawn dick. I'm just saying.
You've never drawn one, so.
I've drawn a dick.
You finally did?
Didn't I draw one on the show that day when we discovered that I had never drawn a dick?
I don't know. I thought I taught you how to draw a dick, but I don't know if you actually did.
Okay. Well, I'll have to start trying again.
Tune into earlier episodes of the podcast where I was a lot more ignorant than I am now.
I want to get back to my glory days of drawing. I miss drawing. And so what better way to start drawing again than the human anatomy? I mean, that is the way that a lot of artists start off. They study nudes, and they sort of learn how the musculature works, including the good old penis.
It's not muscle though. It's
a love muscle, Steve. That's what they used to call it.
Love muscle.
So the student had hoped to get to class early to write on the board, "Clark, we know." Now, they did not elaborate on exactly what they knew, but I sort of, because what was most obviously on my mind, because I had just uploaded it a few hours before, was my admission on the podcast that I subscribed to an adult website. Now,
I mean, they could have known that you were interested in pornography if they had delved into the 180 something episode catalog.
Yes, before that.
I mean, like there's been plenty of episodes where we've talked extensively about strip clubs.
There is. So I don't know whether it was Clark we know because of that, or we were talking about my favorite short story writer that day. It could have possibly been an allusion to that, but they...
Illusion or allusion?
Allusion.
All right.
An allusion to that.
It wasn't like a spectral image.
They did not want to use their illusions, one or two.
What?
So do you think that my students are listening to the podcast, and do I have to censor myself now because I might be...
I'm surprised that you haven't up until this point.
I do think about it a lot. I think about who might be out there listeling because
like
I visit my website and they can see that there's a link for a podcast and they go, oh.
I sometimes get nervous that maybe some of the major things that I think I've said that were terrible. Like I think I asked you to remove from the show and you did.
Yeah, no, yep. There have been those times.
What were those?
I don't even remember. Like it was something like I was like railing against fucking some sort of I was going on one of my like pseudo libertarian rants about how we should have less something or other or less whatever, and I think I think I went a little bit too far, and I'm like, can you remove like some of that shit, because I like, even in retrospect I don't think I should have said it, like, because I don't actually agree with the things that I said.
And that was easy enough because you said it within, like, by the time I got home.
And I was like,
text message. I was like,
maybe I should drink less on the show.
No, but I do. I go back and forth about it, about how open I should be everywhere. Like, how open I should be in class, because part of my personality is that I'm pretty free and open.
Take a look. Chris has wrote a book. It's called Missing Mr. Wingfield.
Mr. Wingfield.
You can buy it on Amazon and leave a review, only if it's 5 stars, and also for the podcast on Apple Podcasts.
They should. I don't have a lot of people have started to say that they've finished reading the book, but not a lot of people have reviewed the book either on Amazon or on Goodreads. So
I've haven't started it, but I did read 2 volumes of One Piece on Thursday because I did not have any power.
There were people who on Thursday, because they didn't have any power, like sent me messages. They're like,
I'm reading your book because I can't do anything else.
I can't do anything else. Like, thanks. No, I mean, I'm always thrilled when somebody's reading it.
I love Becky to death, but she was driving me up a fucking wall on Thursday. Like before we recorded, I was sitting on the couch just reading. Yeah, and she's like, just nuzzling up next to me and just going, just like, you need to leave. Like I'm like, just go on a drive, like just get out, because she was getting stir crazy, and I was fine. Like I usually am one to get stir crazy when there's nothing going on. Yeah. But I was content to with my window open and using the light of the sun to read my book. I was very, very happy doing that, and she was just like,
got to get out.
Yeah, she got out.
Got to get away.
She felt a little bit better after
that. Yeah. Well, you should get out every once in a while, right?
Yeah. I was pissed. I had to take a vacation day for my work from home day, which I didn't get to work, so now I have to use a vacation day.
Yeah.
These animals.
They just what are they thinking?
If the Maynard Library was open at 2:00 or was open before 2:00, I could have gone there. Yeah. But Thursdays are their late days, so they open late and they close late.
Got it. They're a good library. Have you been in there?
Yeah, we went there for they had a book sale, and we were futzing around there, and we got our library cards.
It's a good thing to get a library card. I mean, LeVar Burton would say so.
I was just singing a song earlier.
He was. I wanted to give him a shout out.
Steve, you're giving clues to where you live.
You are.
I did say the town that I lived. I think I've said it before, so.
Yeah. I never knew where that town was. I gotta be honest.
Our town is small. Like, I didn't realize, like, when we were looking at the MEMA map for power outages, like, I'm like, wow, we're like teeny. We're a teeny tiny little town.
Yeah. I knew that it was a town, but I did not know it was that close to where I lived. Like
until I lived there.
Until you lived there. I was like, oh, that's where this is. It's like, all right. I don't know. There are lots of little towns around, but yeah.
Well, Chelmsford's a pretty big town here.
It is. It's a big old town.
And now it has power.
And now it, yeah.
I got the power! I got the power!
Oh, jeez. It's getting...
Well, David Lee Roth and we're singing for you.
It's getting kind of hectic.
I got a note this week in rehearsal that I need to watch my my pitch. That
Are we a little squeaky?
I get a little squeaky apparently at certain parts of the when I'm speaking.
You doing a musical?
No, I'm just speaking. My voice.
You're like Howard Dean.
Did you like Howard Dean? I remember
I remember being excited about Howard Dean.
I was excited. And then he did that, and apparently we were all supposed to hate him because he showed
I
excitement.
didn't. I thought it was fantastic, and I would have still voted for him if he had made it like to the general election.
Yeah, I don't know. No, so the character that I'm playing is supposed to be younger than me, and I think at some point I ended up in my brain equating younger with the higher part of my register.
Hey everybody, it's me, Chris.
Something like that.
I'm only 30 years old.
Alvin.
Uncle.
Christmas time is here.
It's
time for joy and time for tear.
Stop it. I mean,
Yeah.
please. No one wants this.
No. They do. They do.
Oh,
they just
that's a
don't
rough
realize
one.
I tell you. Oh boy.
They do. They just don't realize it yet.
What?
Were you doing what voice were you just doing?
I was just doing a slightly more high pitch you.
Oh, okay.
And then a Rodney Dangerfield.
Whoa, yeah.
I watched.
We were doing Rodney, yes.
I watched Rodney on Carson the other day. A video of Rodney on video.
That seems like a really strange pull there.
No, well, you just were talking about Rodney.
I know. No, it's a strange pull for you to have watched it the other day.
What it was is I was going through my YouTube history. Stephanie and I had finished watching whatever we were watching, and we didn't feel like we had enough energy to go to bed. I mean, to stay up and watch another show, but we didn't want to go to bed yet. So that's usually me showing her stuff on YouTube because she doesn't watch YouTube otherwise. And so I'm flipping.
Otherwise, I don't think she watches it.
No, she didn't watch
the YouTube, sir.
I don't watch it because otherwise I don't go in there.
Yeah.
What's up, eh?
Yeah.
Go.
All right. No, so we were. I was going through my YouTube history to find things to show her, and a few weeks.
Hey, I don't get any respect.
A few weeks ago, this guy whose website I visit for Apple News, John Gruber, his website's daringfireball.net.
Free plug.
John
Gruber, enjoy it.
He
enjoy the horribly off topic bump.
Hot bumps.
Well,
hot bumps.
There is a term out there in Apple website land or just in blogging land called to be fireballed, and that's when Gruber links to you from his website, and he drives so much traffic that your website will go down. You'll be fireballed. So I don't think we have to. I don't think he has to worry about our hot bumps.
Hot bumps.
Maybe
definitely like put him on the fucking show notes. Just so he might accidentally listen and laugh. That he might think that he would get more traffic from our shitty show.
If I put
reverse fireball, you get less traffic.
If I put a time,
we suck it up.
If I put a timestamp on there, he might. But I don't know that he'd listen to the whole episode because the last time somebody in that time I mentioned somebody in that circle was another John.
Was that the fucking guy with the dog?
Yes, but this is
not that guy.
This is not the same John.
Forever.
This is not the same John. This is a different John. Yeah. So the last time I mentioned one of those guys, it didn't go so well because
I got into a fucking Twitter war with somebody that I don't want to fucking talk to
about his dog. Or about your theoretical dog.
It's not. It's. I think you should actually. I'm standing behind this. You should tell dogs that they've done something wrong when they've done something wrong. Crazy theory. Just like with human beings, If you don't want somebody to do something, sorry, I'm a little heated.
That was God striking you down.
If you want somebody to not do anything, like don't not tell them to do it. What? So if I wanted Ryan to not touch me in my inner thigh,
okay,
and he was about to do it, and I stopped him, he would know that I don't want that.
There was a great visual aid there just now.
Yeah,
you guys would
That's what you
demonstrate.
think.
So a few weeks ago, Gruber mentioned Dangerfield and Dangerfield on Carson, and he linked to this particular bit where Rodney gets Carson completely cracking up.
Hey, you know,
and he does, yes, he does all of that. He does all of that.
The shirts don't fit my neck.
But
I should get smaller or bigger shirts.
And there's no reason I can explain why it's so funny to Carson and why it's so funny to me.
I've got the money for a tailor, but I'm cheap. Oh,
I was in Ladybugs.
Oh boy, that movie.
What? No, continue, Chris. Don't worry.
No, so he does his whole bit, which is all sort of standard Dangerfield, where he's given punchline, basically just the punchlines.
Hey, he's got a vibrator buzzing away in his ass.
And then he goes and he sits down next. My bit is to just keep rolling as if I didn't hear your joke. I'm sorry.
No, that's perfect. You have to if you're ever going to finish this fucking story.
And he goes and sits over on the couch, or in the chair next to fucking Lowell guy, Ed McMahon.
Is he from Lowell?
Ed McMahon was from Lowell. I never heard the end of that from my friends who were from Lowell back in the day.
Never heard that.
Yeah,
they were proud.
I didn't realize that. He also sold dog food.
Yeah, and he came to your house with the big fucking check.
Oh yeah,
right. That was
Publishers Clearinghouse.
Yeah, that was Ed McMahon.
Ed McMahon, Lowell.
He also didn't do ads for like Bud Light or something like that.
Oh, I don't know.
Or some sort of beer.
I don't know.
Maybe it's the light beer by Miller.
Schlitz malt liquor.
Rodney starts talking. He's riffing off of Johnny, and then it seems like they can't decide when the bit is going to end. He makes one last joke. And he turns to the guy next to him, and he says something.
Ed McMahon?
No, Ed was further on the couch. There was one more guest, and I don't remember who it was.
Fred McMahon.
It was Fred Willard.
He turns to Fred Willard.
Ed Begley Jr.?
I don't know.
Tom DeLuise.
Rob Reiner.
Jim J. Bullock!
Musical guest. Sting!
Ouch.
What was that guy's name?
Don Pardo.
Don Pardo.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
R.I. Pardo.
Ding.
Mike's picked that up.
I'm surprised.
I don't know what he says one last joke. He turns to the other guy, says something fairly benign, and Carson just loses it. He bursts out laughing. He stands up. He's like back in his like fake plants or whatever behind there, just laughing his ass off. Ass falls right off there on national television.
Ass over tea kettle even.
Ass over tea kettle.
My ass.
Hey.
Where does ass over tea kettle come from?
It. If you listen to my previous podcast, we had. Oh fuck! I don't know if that one's up there. Never mind.
Okay. Off.
The Simulated Itch Relief podcast had an episode where we talked about colloquialisms.
Oh,
and
I think I remember that one.
And one of the expressions was ass over tea kettle, and I do not remember what it was fucking from.
I've heard like ass over tit, ass over head, if you're boulderize it a little bit.
Yeah.
That one makes a little more sense. If your ass is over your head or tits, you're upside down.
Yeah.
Right.
Tea kettle.
Maybe because, we're all a little bit stout in the midsection when we get older.
And it's all about ageism, is what you're saying.
Yes.
It's in everything.
This is my handle. This is my spout.
Tip me over.
I'm pointing at my dick right now.
Would you call that your spout?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where things come out.
Yeah. But do they have?
I brew I drink some things and I make it warmer.
Okay. I was gonna say, but
just like a tea kettle.
Okay. I was gonna say, but does do you have to be turned over to be poured out?
Yes.
Yes, and.
You guys always say yes and
we never do anything. We never do anything with it.
There's never an and. You don't get to just say and.
We do that to piss off all the improv.
Yeah, everybody that listens.
Well, that's me.
We do it to piss off just you and anybody that's an improver.
Do we do anything to like help our listeners, or do we just do things to piss them off?
We just try to annoy people. I don't know why anybody listens, but I thank you if you still do.
It's really fucking funny. Like, it's just like we do nothing.
Yes, and yeah. Are you gonna fucking say an and? Are you gonna do anything with that? No.
Okay.
Nope. We're just assholes.
Yes, and screeching halt.
At least you were here for one of them.
Thank you.
What the fuck were we
the other day, we recorded a podcast.
We did.
We recorded the latest ever episode of the show.
We were super late, but thanks to Snowpocalypse 2018 and the amount of power outages, it happened a little late, and you're welcome.
But one of the things we were going to talk about that we didn't get around to talking about was that you watched something called Nintendo Direct.
I did.
Now, I know not of this thing.
It's a thing where like Nintendo was like,
Nintendogs?
Yeah, it's the new Nintendogs is out, and they decided to devote at least an hour and a half of a YouTube video to showing people the new Nintendogs.
See, that's a yes and.
Oh wow, I did it.
Yeah.
I didn't just say yes.
Yes, you took my turning of the thing to Nintendogs and then added on to it.
Oh wow, look at that.
We're getting an improv lesson right here on the show, Steve.
Well, fuck, I didn't even need the lesson. Apparently, I already do it.
Yes, and you are so good at it.
Ooh.
Wait, did that count what I just did there?
And
you are so good at it. That's what I said. And
I'm just fishing for more compliments.
And you are the handsomest gentleman I have ever done.
Sorry, I was coughing over that. Can you say it again?
And you are the handsomest gentleman I've ever done a podcast or a radio show with.
Wow. You're more
Ryan,
inventing than discovering.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, it was basically them saying there's new games coming out or new shit happening.
Yeah, that you can put on your Nintendog.
You can put it on the dog, and it races across the...
Where do you put the cartridge in on your Nintendog?
Into the butt.
That's why I could never get mine to work. I mean, now do you have to blow into the butt or into the cartridge before you...
Well, like old school NES, yeah, I think you would do a little bit of both.
So an old school Nintendog, you got to blow into its butt first.
Yeah.
Okay, and then blow into the cartridge, and then put the cartridge in.
Yeah, but it's like the Switch cartridges are like teeny these days. So
like
the dogs are less upset that you're shoving something enormous in their ass.
Could you use a Switch cartridge on a Nintendog Classic?
Yeah, are these dog butts backwards compatible?
Yeah, they're not. These dog butts are significantly smaller than the previous dog butts.
So that's a no. That's a no butt.
Dog butts are backwards compatible. Is that the show name?
No, I don't think I can put that in there. But backwards compatible. Yeah, no.
You're way off mic, Chris.
It doesn't matter.
Well, you've got the headphones on, so you can hear it.
I can see my levels. This thing seems to be magic. This thing seems to be like, oh, I hear him all the way
Magic
over there.
Mike, Magic Mike, Magic Mike.
That's a movie about a male stripper.
That was a little bit of the Labyrinth /
Ooh, Magic Mike.
Magic Mike.
Didn't he? That's a movie about a guy who takes his clothes off, right?
What, Labyrinth?
Yeah, it's like David Lee Bowie. He takes his gear off, and he's the.
I've never seen it. And Becky is really upset at me for never seeing it. But I think it's like the 30th anniversary coming up. So they're gonna be showing it in theaters, and so we're gonna go see it.
Do they call him the Goblin King because of his, his?
Because you want to be gobbling that knob.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I imagine a lot of people did gobble that knob at some point in his life.
Yes, I mean he had a little bit of a bisexual streak, so it could have been male or female gobbling the knob.
Freaky pee.
I mean, I'm saying, like, I gotta say, if I in 1970s, what? Well, I mean, if I got to travel back in time, not like 3-year-old me at the end of 2-year-old me at the end of 1979, but like if I got to travel back in time as an adult to the 70s, Ziggy Stardust, and he whips his cock out, I might gobble that knob.
I mean, like, I think you've established on several occasions that you have homosexual predilections.
What? These are not things that come out when I drink, despite the fact that my medicine says not to drink.
Okay. I mean, you did at a certain point almost have sort of relationship
with a Nintendo?
No, with a man.
I did.
David Bowie.
Almost.
You contemplated it.
I contemplated it. Sure. I called the person.
You called them?
Yeah.
But you never like went on a date.
No.
Okay.
That was part of the story back in the day, wasn't it?
I don't remember it.
Okay.
It was that was like episode like 4.
I called the guy. I heard his voice. I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready for this. Just by the voice. That was the second time in the course. There was another time where I called a woman I'd been talking to online, and the same thing happened. And she had a very sort of extra from The Fighter, Massachusetts accent. You ever seen The Fighter, the Marky Mark Wahlberg movie about the boxing?
Oh, the Mickey Ward movie.
Yeah. So imagine one of his
parts
sisters...
of it set in Lowell.
Yeah, let's get local for you. We're just down the street from the Mickey Ward traffic circle.
Oh, is that over by the movie theater?
Yeah.
I did not know that. I knew it was a traffic circle. I did not know
it had a name. Mickey Ward traffic circle. Lowell,
but we call them rotaries round here.
Yeah.
I think the granite thing says traffic circle.
Well, then that's bullshit. Along with Dern.
Yeah.
Dern is bullshit.
Are you saying that to piss off another possible listener?
No, I mean, no.
Oh, or is that his thing?
Dan had his side project after the New Sweethearts was Dern. And one of the songs that he had was Dern is bullshit.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not trying to piss him off.
No, so you're giving a shout out.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah, so the lady that I talked to, who I'd met on the internet, she had a voice like one of Mickey Ward's sisters.
And so you just boing.
Yeah, no.
Boing on Paradise.
No, it's kind of the opposite. It's kind of a
suck your dick.
Yeah.
Like
did she say that to you?
She did not say that to me on the phone. I think she might have said that to me in the messages online, which might have been why I called. But then when I heard her voice, I was fucking like 19. I was shallow. Or 18, 1918.
1918. Remember the Yankees used to chant that at us?
I do.
Remember
fuck those guys.
when World War I ended?
Remember when the Titanic sank? Oh wait, no, that was in 1913.
Downton Abbey.
Downtown Abbey.
It's Downtown Abbey.
Downtown Abbey. I bet she gobbled some knobs.
What?
God damn it!
Oh no!
All the Downtown Abbey fans are going to be really upset with you, Chris. Especially your students. We know, Clark.
Is that the title?
It does. Oh, we know Clark should be the title. That's pretty
little
good.
did that student know. They titled the podcast.
Yeah. Good for you.
They might. I mean, the thing is
good for you, student.
These are all awesome students too, and that's the thing is like if I
don't fucking suck their dicks or clits.
Or gobble their knobs.
My students, especially in that class, are awesome, and the last thing I want to do is be offensive to the level that like they lose all respect for me. I will be.
Don't worry, leave that to me, Chris, because they don't need to respect me. Unless, of course, you want me to come in and speak at one of your classes.
Ooh. No, what would you speak on?
I don't know.
Oh, come on, Steve. What would be your guest lecture by Dr. Woodbury?
Dr. Woodbury.
Dr. Woodbury's guest lecture.
Obviously, because I am a dentist.
Mm.
No, at some point, I've talked about this on the show before. Somewhere along the line, And email got like confused,
right?
And I've been confused as a doctor of dental medicine in my regular plain old email, and I've been getting emails ever since about my dental practice.
Are they asking you about like bridges or dams or
dental dams?
Dental dams, yeah. Do dentists have anything to do with dental dams? I mean, like,
is this why I was so depressed for so long that everybody thought I was a dentist?
No. What would your guest lecture be about?
I don't know. I mean, what my field of study back in the day was communications, and I do that on a weekly basis with you.
Yes.
Do.
I suppose I could talk about podcasting with you, and then you could chime in when necessary.
This way, it's great to have 3 people because 2 of us can fuck with the other
gang
person.
up on the other one.
Yeah. It was most of us against you for most of
right.
it.
Right. Yeah, but you know, I
can take a jab every once in a while, motherfuckers.
So
no, get out of there! I told you not to do that.
You just told them you could take a jab. You were
no, I didn't say grab my dick.
So were there any interesting Nintendogs on being announced?
Well, they talked about their new rewards system, which is really great. So if you spend, I think, $1,200 on games, you can get a $60 game for free.
Wow, that seems really reasonable. That seems like something I should run out and do.
I mean, it seems it's really great because you get all these like gold points for buying games online and or like in the store. You get slightly less for buying them like a hard copy of a game, but you can use all these points to like, you know, get discounts on games and stuff. It's really great.
So if you spend about $60 a game, how many games does it take to get to $1,200? How many games do you have to buy to get?
I think you have to buy all the games that are available on the Nintendo Switch currently.
And hope that there's still another one left before they discontinue it.
No,
for you to get your free one.
No, but like you have a year to spend these points.
Okay.
And so you have to buy a lot of things really quick.
Okay.
And then once you do that, you can spend it all on a free game. You can also spend some of the points for a discount on one of the games.
Oh.
So you don't have to like, you know, accumulate an excessive amount. You could buy a $60 game and use 300 of your points. Okay. So basically, because 1 point equals 1 cent.
Oh, okay.
And so if you have like clever. 300 points, it's like you get $3 off a game.
$3. That's a lot off a game in these wonderful times.
Yeah, I mean everybody likes really bullshit discounts. Thanks, Nintendo.
Are games still $60?
Yeah.
I mean, games been $60 for 30 years. I remember them being about that much when I was a child.
I think certain games were $60 when we were growing up. But I don't remember them being over 50 actually for
really
a lot. Like Super Nintendo games, I don't remember them being over 50.
I just had that memory of going to Toys R Us and you get the paper slip.
Yes.
From the game you wanted, and you walk up to the
Rest
counter
in peace,
where they had all
Toys R Us.
the That's
well,
still somewhat alive, right?
Yeah. Well, there was the latest article I read. This came up at dinner on Friday. The latest article I read was saying that they might close all their stores as soon as this week.
What?
Uh-oh.
Go quick. Go now.
Oh, no.
Go to Nashua tomorrow.
I have several hundreds of dollars of Babies R Us gift cards.
Oh no.
That I need to spend.
Well, I don't think they could. I don't think that they could possibly. I think they'd have to do liquidation and stuff like that. I don't think they could just close their doors.
Yeah, I mean, like
discount.
Yeah, you'll get sweet discounts with your dick cards.
Ooh, my dick
gift cards.
Yep. That's a very different thing. A dick card. Did I ever tell you about the time?
No.
It's not a Game of
I don't know if I'm drunk enough to tell this story.
Dick card.
Oh yeah.
Have I had enough to drink to tell this story?
Finish your beverage.
You mean to top off the
no, I think you're good.
Oh wait, that episode's over anyway. Wait, we'll just make everyone wait till next time. Or should I tell the story anyway?
Just tell the fucking story.
I don't know, maybe I should.
Next time on Horribly Off Topic.
No, you said Dick Card, and this made me...
G. Smith and the Saturday Night Live Band.
Musical guest, Tom Morello.
What?
Probably not.
Maybe late in what's his butt's career, he might have been announcing Tom without rage or without what the hell was the Streets of something? He was in a no, he was also in fucking the one with what's his butt?
Fucking.
Yeah, where it was like the guys
Slave?
from Ray. Yes.
Audio Slave.
Yeah, he was an Audio Slave, and then I feel like he was in another Street Sweeper Social Club.
I'm going hungry. I'm going hungry. Okay, tell your story.
Levels.
Do I really need to tell the story now?
Yeah, tell the story.
Okay, all right.
Like
so you mentioned Dick cards. That made me think of dicks. It made me think of
things you like.
It made me think of the Combat Zone in Boston.
Oh.
You ever go to the Combat Zone in Boston when it was the Combat Zone?
Right.
We are younger, so
Yeah.
like we are slightly younger, so
When-
and Ryan's slightly younger than me.
Okay, so it was in its basically decline by the time I was working around the corner from it.
Where Fudgewood made.
It was more of a scuffle zone at that point.
Yeah. It's more of a scuffle. Sorry.
Are you writing that one down?
And so anyway,
Scuffle zone.
Get in the zone. Scuffle zone.
So I worked around the corner on Boylston Street, the corner of Boylston and Tremont, and
TMI.
This is just before I got married, maybe just after the height of my sort of going to strip club,
Overt sexuality.
Yes, yeah, and
Honeymoon Chris
and porn interest. And so there were a number
So
of...
you're saving this for the end of the show. So like any of like your really devoted students, they'll be like, oh.
No, they're just going to say, we know Clark again, right?
We know Clark 2, part 2.
No, so I went over there once to this place where there was all sort of toys and videos at the front, and then if you went to the way back, there was... you ever see that Madonna video where like they put the quarters or the dollars in and the things go up and there's one person dancing around and there's all the...
Vogue?
No, it's like...
Mr. Peabody and Sherman.
Anyway, they had one of those rooms where like dudes could line up around this big place where instead of like going to
a peep show, right?
Yeah, instead of going to a strip club, you were watching somebody dance behind glass, and you paid like $1 or so. Then there was a separate section.
Oh.
Where you could go and it's essentially the private booths. You went in there and the way the doors did not lock, but the way the doors stayed shut is that your bench that you sat on came down and that was what kept the door closed. Right. So you went in, you put the bench down, you sat on the bench, and then you put your dollar or your whatever into the machine.
What else would you put in besides $1?
$2.
You put your currency.
You put your whatever in.
You put your money into the machine.
Mash it down real flat. Slide it in.
Ouchies.
So this is a body weight lock on the door,
essentially, yeah. So like you put the little bench down, you sit down, and there was no lock on behind you.
What if you were up to no good? What if you were a miscreant? Like could they like some sort of like burly man bust through?
Well, I don't know. See, this is at the crux of the problem of this story, right? So I put my money in this particular time that I went in there. The screen goes up. The woman.
What if you were pressing your balls against the glass?
You're not letting me finish the story. Now, my balls never did go against the glass, but here's what happened.
So, I put my balls against the glass.
I want to put my balls.
Why do I tell stories?
I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
I'm interested with this.
Yeah,
so this, I want to know how if you would have reacted differently. I think this is where it's coming from. All right, so the
lady,
the window goes up, sort of like the cardboard, not cardboard, but like the plastic barrier goes up, and there behind the glass is the performer. And so she starts taking her gear off and starts.
Was she wearing like fucking?
She was a steampunk stripper.
I'm saying she starts taking her clothes off. Okay,
she was like in the Wiki Wiki Wild Wild West.
Her monocle, her top hat.
She was like Kevin Kline.
The vest with the pocket watch. Oh. Those are coming off.
Yes, all of that.
She had one of those things that like had like what the hell? What are those really tiny guns that like
a Derringer?
She had a Derringer come out and she was like took it off and she's like, I'm gonna get nude here for you.
So she's nude. She's doing her performance, trying to earn her living. I think I slipped some money in there for the tip.
She's taking what she's given because she's working for a living.
And then she looks at me just sitting there with kind of my hands on my knees, watching, and she says, if you show me, I guess she must not have been totally naked at this point. She says, you show me yours and I'll show you mine. And I'm just like, or maybe she said, I'll show you mine if you show you. It's whatever, some version of that. And I'm like,
that sounds like a trap.
It sounds like a trap, right? I did not do it.
Does she look like Admiral Akbar?
Yes, she left the mask on.
She was.
She knew I was super into Star Wars. She was like,
R.I.P. Admiral Akbar.
Oh, I know, right?
No, but so you would have done the same thing as me. You would have just sat there and waited until the thing went down and then got the fuck out of there, right? Like you wouldn't have actually shown her your penis.
No.
Okay. Just making sure.
Maybe.
Because it seemed like she was surprised that I wasn't. She seemed genuinely surprised that I was not.
That's entrapment.
Yeah, I guess. It's just, but she seemed genuinely surprised. That's what I remember to this day. Is she's like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? He's not like actually jerking it off to what I'm giving him.
Maybe she was intrigued by your lack of your lack of penis.
I would think from her perspective.
That's how I got married. My wife was intrigued by my lack of penis.
That's nice.
But if you've got it out jacking it, like, then she knows that you're like, okay, yeah, obvious. Okay, he's here to jack it, to get off.
Right.
Like, she knows what you're there for.
Yes.
If you're not and just fully clothed and looking at her, she probably doesn't know what to do with that.
That's probably true.
It's probably from her perspective, it's off-putting.
Yes.
Like in a regular strip club, like
yes,
the situation that you're confronting her with is normal.
Right. I had never. I think I went to this place 2 or 3 times in the course of the 3 or 4 years that I worked there, around that area.
Was this on a lunch break?
This was on a very long lunch break.
There you go.
You're like, you gotta really. So you had a bad day. You need to not jerk off in front of this lady.
But my only experience at this point was exactly what you're saying. Was at strip clubs where you better keep your fucking hands on your knees and keep them away from the woman unless she deliberately takes your hands and puts them somewhere.
Yeah.
And so but she obviously.
So you had a bad day. You took the lady. The lady took your hands and put them on her tits.
I needed to get that off.
Now you round some Mac 2s. You walk to McDonald's.
Or maybe the Wooloon Ming.
I tried to get a Shamrock Shake at that McDonald's yesterday, and they didn't have them.
What the fuck? It's almost like what is it? Next Saturday?
Yeah.
Bullshit.
I call bullshit.
If I was still drinking sweets, I'd be getting myself a Shamrock Shake right about now. Funk Soul Brother.
What is Shamrock?
This is a really long show.
This is a really long show. We could have it. But now you make me like I've always wondered what is Shamrock Shake is what flavor?
It's mint.
Oh, it's mint. Okay.
It's just mint.
Just mint.
It's a vanilla shake with mint flavor in it.
Okay. Yeah, because you expect chocolate with that flavor.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way you get mint. But
yeah, it's just mint.
I find it off-putting. It's kind of like you're drinking sweet toothpaste.
Oh, no.
But my wife, she likes it.
My wife.
My wife.
My wife. You can find the show notes for this episode.
This is Chris trying to wrap it up.
I think I did say, oh God, I said I'd try to be back for bedtime, and apparently I am not back for bedtime.
You can find the show notes at snart.com.
You can't.
You can find the show notes for this episode at clarkwoods.com/hot/189.
Holy shit, we're almost at 200.
We're almost at 200. Almost
That's
there,
where
buddy.
Clark Woods is. clarkwoods.com.
And if you want to, what do they do next? Oh, if you want to email us, you can email us.
We got an email this week, but he asked for us not
for the
to
show.
talk.
It was very cool news. We got news that my book is now across the seas.
It's international.
It's international. It got left behind at a hostel library for somebody.
A hostel.
Very
Get this fucking book out of here. No.
Well, no, we're keeping it here.
You can. I did already say you can send the email to hot@clarkwoods.com, and if you don't want us to read it, mark it as don't want us to read it. But we'll still apparently
we'll talk about it a little bit.
A little bit. Or you can tweet us. I'm at ECC1977.
And I'm at Tuesday is Loser. That's Tuesday IS Loser. All one word, buddy.
We never talked about
Ryan. Do you want to talk about your Twitter? Or do you not
still not checking my Twitter at BOEUFWELLINGTON Beef Wellington. Check out Oregon Fail You Have Died of Comedy on Facebook.com or The Rockwell in Somerville. Got a big show coming up. Looking to make some money off of that one. Very fun show.
Yeah. Fucking, we'll have to go to it so we can help you make some money.
It is in early April, I believe, the first Friday in April or Saturday.
Okay, I'll be.
You'll probably be a new father at that point.
I will be. Yes.
So the comedy will be sleep
deprived.
Yeah.
So it'll probably be very great.
Yeah, sleep deprived comedy is the best comedy.
No. Don't hit the space bar, you fuck!
Smack!